What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're at an EVgo station with a 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning XLT extended range, and we're going to be doing the 10% road trip challenge to see how good of a road tripper this F-150 Lightning really is. So like I said, we have a 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning XLT, no tonneau cover, 20-inch wheels. This has about 27,000 miles on it. It is a Turo rental. We're doing the 10% road trip challenge, which means that we're going to be starting at 10% state of charge. We're going to be charging it for 15 minutes at a high power charger, or high enough power that it will max out the vehicle's capabilities. And then we're going to be driving at 80 miles per hour back down to 10% from whatever we started with, which is determined by however high we get from 15 minutes of charging. I've set the tire pressures. It's about 70 degrees outside, low traffic, which is perfect. We're going to be running the climate at about 68 degrees, low fan speed, auto, just to be comfortable. And this is to simulate as if we were on a road trip. So without further ado, let's get plugged in. We'll charge for 15 minutes. I'll give you a quick tour of this F-150 Lightning. I like it quite a bit. I've put about 150 miles on it. And if you haven't, check out my 70 mile per hour efficiency test that will be coming after this. And I'm going to be comparing whether you should go at 70 miles per hour or 80 miles per hour on road trips based on the efficiency of those two different tests. And how much of an impact it may or may not have. I don't know. I've done the 70 mile per hour test. I haven't done the 80 mile per hour test yet. So you'll want to check that out. I also did it with the Tesla Model Y long range rear wheel drive. So if you haven't already, check that out as well. And as always, check out the links down in the description below. They help out the channel. Let's get plugged in and get started. So we are plugged in. It's about to start charging. Just had someone else pull up. We'll see how this goes. And I'll start the timer as soon as the contactors click. Slow handshake, that's for sure. And I also have some recording going inside the car so you guys can see current, since Lightning does not show current matching voltage. There we go. And I'll start the timer as soon as we actually have power flowing, which looks like we do now. So charger timer started. Session details, let's see here. Ramping up, it should do about 470 amps if I remember correctly. And we get about a 10-minute boost on the F-150 Lightning. And then it drops down quite a bit. So there we have that. And of course the Lightning doesn't really show you a whole lot of anything on the screen, which is really obnoxious. There you can see 445 amps. Charger request is 457, so it's ramping up. And you can see 11.5, and we're getting 153 to the battery. Well, my first time trying to film this 10% challenge got interrupted. Someone else plugged in on the EVgo station right after I did, which cut my power down to 400 amps, which made the test no longer representative because the vehicle needs about 450, 470 amps. I don't recall the exact value. So we are going to be testing on an Alpatronic HYC 400 that no one else will share the power on. And we're going to try this again. So I'll plug in and start a timer for 15 seconds, and I'll show you guys. So plugging in. Swinging the cable out. We will plug in there. There we go. And starting a timer for 15 minutes. and contactors on the charger clicking, and contactors on the vehicle clicking. Go into details here. Should be ramping up. So we'll charge for 15 minutes and then we'll get on the interstate, do 80 miles per hour, and see how far we go based on however much we charge. So you can see it ramping up, 342 volts, 448 amps, and it's leveling off on the charge curve there. Let's see how far we get. I think we'll probably get up to like 45-50%, I guess. I'm really not sure. I haven't charged Lightning enough to really know. We're about halfway through, 7.5 minutes remaining. We're still at 450 amps up to 160 kilowatt because as the pack voltage comes up, which you can see there, then the charge power actually goes up because voltage times current equals your power. So if you were to plug in higher with the way that the F-150 Lightning does its boost, then you'd actually get higher power for the duration of that boost. But should be about a 10-minute boost, so we probably have about another 2 minutes or so. We're at 27% state of charge, so I don't think this is going to be the longest range 10% challenge, which at this hour of the night I am fine with, but I would like to see the Lightning do quite well in this. We should be coming off the boost here momentarily. We're still at 449 amps or so. And we've added about 21% in that boost. So we're at 161, 162. So it's actually still holding that boost even at 10 minutes into this. We'll see if it keeps if it drops or if we still hold steady. And looks like there we go. The boost is ending and we're ramping down from 450 amps. But still holding over 150 kilowatts, and we've added 22% in 10 minutes, which is respectable. So we're up to 79 miles of displayed range, but I believe that's a guessometer, so don't read too much into that. I was driving a bit spiritedly to help drain it, and we're 33% and a little over 4 minutes to go. So I'm thinking we'll probably end up around 38%, but we shall see. Well, we just crossed 15 minutes. We're going to stop the charge. We're at 40%. Just like that, we're stopping. And let's see the charge curve. So we added 37.45 kilowatt hour in 15 minutes. We went from 10 to 40%. And you can see the 10-minute boost and then how it dropped and flattened off, which is characteristic of the F-150 Lightning charge curve. So let's get unplugged and hit the road. Well, we're going to reset the trip. I just got out of the charger. And we're going to head to the interstate and we're going to do 80 miles per hour GPS at a steady state in a loop style. So we'll go out and then come back and try to keep it as neutral as far as elevation and wind goes as possible. It's about 70 degrees out, very, very little wind, about 2 miles per hour. And otherwise a pretty much perfect evening with no sun load or anything. So if we're going to get a good result, this is the time we're going to get a good result. Not that I'm aiming for one, but figure we may as well give it the best chance we can. Well, we have reached the turnaround point. We're still continuing at 80 miles an hour. 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour so far, about 30 miles. You can tell we reached the turnaround point because we drove down to 25%, and it is estimating an 11% arrival back to our starting location, which means we did it pretty well. We're going to keep going about another 2 miles, flip around, and then get back on. We do the loop style test, so that way it counteracts wind and elevation. This is turning out to not be the best result, but makes for a quick test, which I am pretty appreciative at this hour of the night. So we'll continue and turn around. We have reached our turnaround point. We're averaging 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour, 32.5 miles driven. So we're on track for just a little bit over 60 miles, slowing down with regen, trying to not put too much heat or lose too much energy. Got some roundabouts back onto the interstate, and then we will slowly accelerate back on to not waste too much energy getting back up to speed, and continue on back to our starting point at 80 miles per hour. And you're now joining me at 11% state of charge. We've driven just over 45 minutes, about 60 miles. Fortunately, this is not looking like a great result. We're going to be coming up to 10%, and then that's when we'll call it right as it crosses from 11% to 10%. I'm really hoping we get to 60 miles, but it's not looking promising at this point. Really not a great result for this F-150. The charging curve is weird. Starts out strong and then gets weak, so I was hoping for a better result. There we go, from 11 to 10% at 59 miles driven. So under 60 miles, less than an hour of driving added in 15 minutes, which is really unfortunate. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is this a good performance at 80 miles per hour, or do you think Ford should be really upping their game? It does seem like the 2024 F-150 Lightning does better, but I have yet to test one. Ford, if you're watching this, I will happily take one to do some testing with, or if anyone in the Charlotte area has one, I would love to do some testing with it. Thank you guys for watching.